first action of promotion that most of you don't do and you have to do to be successful is to pre-frame or to get other people to pre-frame you. So if we're talking about positioning, the first step you want to do is pre-framing, and I will explain it, but I just wanted to show you a demonstration of how it works. This is the first stage, and it needs to go by order. So this needs to happen first, usually, in order to be successful. Okay? Pre-framing is a tool, is a marketing tool that allows you to direct people to where you want it or how you want them to see your product, your service, yourself, your business, whatever it is. Okay, how you want them to perceive that. And you usually do that before they even meet you. Right now, you didn't meet Brian Tracy. Anybody did meet Brian Tracy before? Two people? Okay, one person. Okay, but most of you didn't meet. But right now, there are many people in the room. By the way, forget about if you knew Brian Tracy before or after. How many of you right now have a positive feeling about Brian Tracy? Okay, if you look around, that's most of the hands. Okay, that's what pre-framing does. I could have done it differently. And I could have done it totally differently, and I will ask you how many of you feel positively about Brian Tracy, and you all will put your hands down. I could also not do pre-framing, and then we'll stay with, some people know him, so they like him. Some people don't know, so they are like this. And some people heard some negative things, and they are in the negative. Okay? So by doing these few sentences of pre-framing, you already have a positive feeling about something that you don't know about. Does that make sense? That's what you need to have about your business. I will show you how we do that for the Business Bootcamp in a moment, or for our trainings, and you'll see how powerful it is. But that was a demonstration of, here's a person we don't really know. I took about 30 seconds to say a few words about him, and right now there is a lot more positivity to him. If I would introduce him right now on stage, you will receive him probably with a standing ovation. Does that make sense? This is important, isn't it? Wouldn't you like to be able to create that before people know you, they already decided that you're a positive person in their lives? I'll give you another example. I was sitting with Roy Martina a couple of weeks ago for our regular friendship meeting whenever we have the time, and I was kind of complaining a little bit for my back that is painful, and it's a back injury that I have for many years, and I don't know why I mentioned that. And he says, well, then you have to go to Rob. And he gave me a name, and he gave me a phone number, and he said, you have to go to this guy. He's a magician. He took care of my back. I couldn't walk. Now I can walk without a problem. I can sport again and everything. You have to go to that guy. That's it. 2 sentences. Okay, what did he do to this Rob in my eyes? He pre-framed it as the top person, expert to go to in order to fix my back. Now, of course, 2 weeks later, I was with that person. I didn't ask how much it's going to cost. I didn't care. Right? I knew that this is the right person for me because it was pre-framed before, right? Now, there's more interesting things that happen as a result of that, and we'll talk about it a little bit later, is that when you go to somebody, like when I go to Rob, pre-framed, then the chances that the treatment will be successful is much higher, isn't it? If you understand that. So just think what will happen if you can make sure that you or other people can pre-frame your product, your service, you as a person, or you as a business, before people even know you. Do you understand the power? Most businesses don't have a clue. They just don't have a clue. I will show you 7 ways how to do that in a moment, okay? I'm just giving you a little bit the examples. Is that clear? Yes. All right. So this is pre-framing. What is important to know is that pre-framing happens before, most of the time, before you meet that person, or before they meet you in this case. Before they meet you, before they know you, before they even went to your website, before they opted in. This has all happened before. That's why we call it pre-framing. Is that clear? Yeah. All right. So let me show you in another way, which maybe will be a little bit closer to home. How many of you it might be a few years ago, you might not remember, but try to bring yourself back to that. How many of you got the message about the Business Bootcamp from a friend or a colleague or somebody else? Okay, now here's what I'm going to ask you. They told you something. They told you should go to the Business Bootcamp because, or whatever it is, right? If there's anybody that can remember what was the sentence or what was the reason, why people told you that you should go there, in a very short sentence, I will give you the mic. I want to hear that because I want to show you how we do that. What did he tell you?
Nisande will help you.
Nisande will help you. So that was my name. It wasn't the Business Bootcamp. It was my name.
Your
Great.
name. Yeah.
Great. Important. Yes, thank you.
Little bit American,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of inspiration and energy.
All right, so American from the negative, inspiration, energy. Just have a look. This is all pre-framing and it's brilliant, yes.
The email, and it said, "Am I struck by lightning?" So I read the email.
Yeah, but was that an email from me or from a friend?
No, from my brother who had
Okay.
been to the business bootcamp before
Okay.
I did.
And what did he say? So you say, am I
Well,
struck by...
it was very mind-blowing and opening how to do business and how to perform on your
Fine.
strategy.
Those words are important, guys. Mind-blowing, important, yes. Do we have mics here?
Well, it's very American, but I learned a lot from it.
Very American, learned a lot, thank you.
I got a complete new perspective of my business and I changed huge things.
Wonderful.
I went to a guy, he said all the things you said to me before, and now I believe them.
Okay, cool. Yes, Colin.
There are a lot of people and a lot of people like you who are just starting.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yes,
He said it's good and especially for you.
especially for you. Wonderful, thank you. Let's give Mike one mic here for the last one. Yeah, I'm hearing you.
This is what you need as a ZZP'er. You should go there.
This is what you need. Okay. Yeah, here. Those are the last two. Yeah, Peter.
Okay, the guy told me, I'm not sure whether it's something for you, but it will change your mind.
Change your mind. Aren't you in South Africa right now?
I'm back. I was there during the month of March.
Did you write a book?
I did. I came home with my manuscript.
Wow, cool. I didn't realize that it's already more than a month. I thought it was just a few weeks ago. Yes.
I was thinking about taking advice from someone, and Marjolein Kalter told me, I know from whom he has learned it, so go to Nisande.
Go to Nisande. Okay, great. So whatever you heard right now from your friends or colleagues or an email from your brother, whatever it is, they were pre-framing the business bootcamp or pre-framing me. Okay, is that clear? And they pre-frame it to fit your message or to fit your ability to understand that. And each one of them was a little bit different. Okay, but the most important part is that they all pre-framed, and it all worked, by the way. All those of you that shared about it, if that sentence or this conversation that you had with that person convinced you to come to the business bootcamp, then that worked. Now, your job is to make sure that you will get as many people as possible like that, pre-framing you, and preferably pre-framing you with the message that you wanted to hear. Because pre-framing can be positive or negative. Pre-framing can be, well, it's very American, full stop. That's a pre-framing. Okay, if you will get it's very American without but, it's good for you, or but it will get you result, or but it will be very inspiring, then that's not so good, right? For example, so pre-framing is very, very important that it will be the right way. Now, sometimes you can very easily or very tactically actually define what will be the pre-framing, sometimes not. If it's other people, you cannot control what they're saying, but you better know what is your positioning and what you want people to say, and make sure that you help them say the right things. Say the things that are important for you to be said. Does that make sense? That's why I will never hide that we are American, that we're doing it the American way. I will always say it. You know, in the beginning of a business bootcamp, I say, how many of you found it very American? Great. Well, why is it very American? Because it works. And I'm giving you the but. You can choose to use it or not, but I'm giving you the but. If I wouldn't give you that but, if I wouldn't explain why we're doing it, what's the importance of participation, engagement, and everything, then you will go to your friends and says, well, you know, it's very American. But I need you to add the sentence, but, you know, it works, or but, you know, it inspires, etc. Does that make sense? Yes. It's also very interesting what you said and a couple of other people that says you need to go to Nisande. Okay? This is not something that we're actually trying to create, but it happens, and it happens a lot. Okay? We're trying to say, well, it's a business bootcamp, or it's a training, or it's a company, or whatever it is, but people are saying go to Nisande. Now, I know where it comes from, and I know why it happens, but it's not something that we generally want necessarily to happen. But if I wouldn't do what I'm doing with the personal stuff, so I wouldn't sit in here during the breaks of the business bootcamp, and I wouldn't be available, and I would just be, the one that dumps information in you, and as soon as it's over, I'm gone, and you don't see me, then Nisande will be much less of a person you need to go to Nisande, right? Huh? I don't know if it's mysterious. well, anyway, you understand what I'm saying? So all those are pre-framing, and that's really, really important. And let's see how you can do that, because this is something, I mentioned that before, the whole point of positioning, it's not something that you leave to the world or to your clients or to the marketplace to decide for you. You're the one that needs to create that. I'm going to give you, there are many more than that, but I'm going to give you my 7 favorite ways how to pre-frame, or how to direct the pre-framing, because not always you can pre-frame. Many times they are pre-framing. You can do some, other people do some, but you can direct it to your direction. Is that okay? Yeah, so I'm going to give you 7. You want to write them down. I will explain each one of them, and as much as I can, I will give you some examples for that. So the most important thing is that before you can do that, you need to know what is your PG. You remember? What is the PG? Your positioning goal. You want to know how would you like to be perceived, how would you like to be known, because if you don't know that, then it's very hard to do the pre-framing or to know where to take it. Is that clear? Okay, so this I assume that you did in the break, or you can do that later, but let's assume that you have that. So here's 7 things that your prospects can see before they actually even meet you or go into your website or join your mailing list or whatever it is. This says before, this is pre-framing. It's not necessarily by order of importance, but all of those you can do. All of the 7 of them you can do. Some more easily, some a little bit more complex. The first one is referrals. Referrals. You all heard that from me from the Business Bootcamp. We're talking about referrals and the importance of that. And again, when your brother, when your friend, when your advisors tells you you need to go to the Business Bootcamp because, then those are referrals that are pre-framing the Business Bootcamp or me to you. Is that clear? So you need to get your referrals to pre-frame you to the people that they're talking about. So one of the ways to do that is you can ask them. You can ask people, do you have any other people that you can refer me to them or refer them to me? And if they say yes, you can ask them, what would you tell them? It's very, very important to listen. What would you tell them? I know what many of you tell because I'm asking you that in many, many, many times and ways. In the blog post, many times we ask you, what would you tell a friend about the Business Bootcamp? If you did the Business Bootcamp in the last year, we have on the day after the Business Bootcamp, we have the NPS test or a questionnaire that we ask you, what's the score from 0 to 10 that you would give the Business Bootcamp? And if you give 9 or 10, then we'll ask me, what would you tell a friend? So we have hundreds of what people would say to their friends, and we're looking, is that fitting or not? And do we need to change a little bit our communication? So referrals are one of the best ways for other people to pre-frame you. Make sure that you get referrals. I don't want to get now into a course about referrals because we're going to do you a big favor in the coming few weeks. Not next week, but from the week after that, in the blog post, we'll have a series of blog posts about referrals, and you can even apply, you can even opt in for I think it's a 2-week program about how to get referrals, and we every 2 days will send you an important tip to execute how to get referrals. It's so important that I'm dedicating a chunk of, it's a free course I'm going to give you just to make sure that you get more referrals in your business, but this is crucial. Does that make sense? Most of you get referrals, right? How many of you get referrals anyway? But most of you don't have it as a system, or hopefully you do, but we'll teach you how to do that much more systematic and how you can also make sure that the communication they use is fitting more your message, your positioning. Is that clear? So that's referral. The next one, testimonials. Again, it's not something new, you heard that. But how do you do that the right way? Okay, remember, what pre-framing is what people see about you, your prospects see about you before they get in contact with you. I don't know how many of you heard about the Business Bootcamp or about me, and before you went to our website, you went to Google and Googled that, because many people do. Okay, many people do. Or maybe they go for the website first, and then they go to Google and they Google Business Bootcamp. Let's see what comes up. And testimonials will come up. They will come up on LinkedIn. They will come up on your website. They will come up on YouTube. They will come up in different places, maybe on other people's sites. But you want that the words that are being told there will pre-frame you the right way. Does that make sense? The testimonials about you are crucial for pre-framing. The way that people talk about you in their testimonials in any way, shape, or form is important, which means that if you have lots of testimonials, let's say on LinkedIn, you might want to consider, because LinkedIn allows you to order them today in any order, why don't you put those that are communicating the exact pre-framing you want on the top, right? And if you have some that are maybe they are positive, but they are not communicating the right positioning message, then maybe take them away, Now, right now, so far we have hundreds, maybe thousands of testimonials, both in video and text and everything on the internet. And we started realizing that many of them are actually communicating very positive message, but not the message we want. There's a lot of messages that are saying, hey, it's free, so what do you have to lose? You should go do that. Well, those needs to go away, because this is not the type of people we want to attract anymore. It was pre-framing that maybe fitted 4 years ago. It doesn't fit anymore. It's positive, but it's not supporting what we want right now. Making sense? We are going to start removing all the testimonials that are coming from starters, that are saying, hey, I didn't know what to do, and now I got the idea, and now I'm starting my business. I don't want starters in our business anymore. They're not bad people. They are just not fitting where we want to go further. We want people that already have a business. So those we might want to eliminate, because they're pre-framing something that positive, but we don't want it anymore. Is that clear? Okay? So testimonials is very, very important. Many times you have control, at least over the testimonials that you have, that you get. If it's on LinkedIn, if it's on your website, if it's YouTube, etc., you can choose what to do that. I don't know if anybody of you have been in the Last Business Bootcamps, but we ask for the video testimonials, like we always ask, but this time we do it a little bit differently. We tell people, listen, we want it from specific people. So, and it's not always nice, so I need to make it kind of fun, but I say, if you look like a 45-old man and look like a business person, then we want you first. Because we don't have a lot of those testimonials, right? And we need, because this is pre-frame, more of the target audience that we have right now, and less of the, of the very, very young starters or a Zweiverich, whatever. Yeah, so those are all points that you can take in account, and you can ask for testimonials. I'm not going to go into that because we spoke about it in Business Master Entrepreneur enough. You need to ask for testimonials. Just ask for the right ones and kind of guide them towards the pre-framing you want. Now that you understand pre-framing, it will be easier for you to get what you want. Does that make sense? Yes. Next one. Videos of you on YouTube. Okay, videos of you on YouTube. Any kind of videos of you. If you don't have them, create them. So we have a lot of videos from us on action. So there's part of the training. So what you want to do if you do something like that, part of a training, of a lecture, of a presentation, or whatever it is, you want to put the parts that will pre-frame you the right way. We are not going to put on YouTube a video that shows the massage. I think it's positive, but it's not pre-framing us in the way that we want to. Is that making sense, guys? There will be videos that shows the part where we're talking about the conscious millionaires. There will be a video that talks about the importance of, contributing, but it's not a major part, because I will put more a major part on people, on tools for growing your business, on tools for networking or stuff like this, because this is where I want to pre-frame it. So you want to choose. Many of you don't have a choice because you don't have any, and that's a problem. But if you have, then you want to choose the right ones. Now, you can either do that from your activities. So if you're a masseuse, you can get somebody professional to take some photos, some images or some clips from you doing the massage. Anything that can be visually captured, then take a professional, pay them a couple of €100 and get professionally done. Okay, for us it's easy. Okay, if you're presenting in any way, shape, or form, that's easy. But almost any other profession, if there is something visual there, then take some clips for that to pre-frame it. But you don't have to do that this way. You can just stand in front of a camera in your living room or in your office and just speak and just talk and just teach something or share something. No selling whatsoever. We'll talk about the selling in a moment. No selling whatsoever. It's pre-framing. You want to be pre-framed as an authority. So if you can teach them something, excuse me, if you can teach them something about your area of expertise, about their problem, teach them something about, how to stop the yo-yo diet, teach them something about, how to get the relationship with their kids better, whatever it is. If you can do that on video, video is wonderful, wonderful pre-framing, because we'll talk about later about articles and stuff like this, but in articles you don't have the personality. We don't have the connection. Okay? You want people to see you on a video, and if they like you, this is a pre-frame, right? They start liking you. Now, not everybody's going to like you. That's what people are afraid. Oh, but what if, I'm not that great on a video, whatever it is, what if people won't like me? That's perfect, because if they don't like you on video, they're probably not going to like you when they come anyway. So it's a great filter. Get those people that really like you. It took me a while to learn that, to overcome my, my ego that was hurt from that and everything. But it took me a while to realize that people that don't like me on video probably are not going to like me live anyway. So let's not worry. No worry. Let's save some time for all of us. Does that make sense? Video is a great pre-framing because it allows people to see you as you are in a way that it's much more personal, that's much more connecting than any other form except physical, of course. Make sense?